Hello. This is African Diaspora Teacher. Here we look at issues, analyze them, and make them ready for our common understanding. Recently, Philip Scott, on his Philip Scott show, was discussing an issue based on some Dominicans who come into this country and feel they are not part of the black community. And then later on, about last week or this week, somewhere around last week or this week, some Spanish city councilmen are in the news for all the wrong reasons, bad-mouthing black people. But here I want to analyze the whole thing and then trace the harsh, whether you want to call it anti-black racism of Spanish-speaking people on Spain. Let's take all the people who speak Spanish in America. Most of them who feel like their color is like the palm of my hand. If you're Afro-Brazilian, if you're Afro-Cuban, if you're Afro-Hispanic, Afro-Latina, this is not for you. But again, let's take Spanish out of the mouth of this group of people that I'm about to talk about. Let's take Spanish out of their tongue, and you'll find out that most of these people just look like ordinary black folks, even African, because from Africa right up to America into Jamaica, black people come in variation of colors. In Africa, you can't even trace most of these people with any rapist European blood. Okay. What I mean by that is these people come out with these natural colors in Africa, not necessarily raped by any European rapist. Okay. So let's take Spanish out of the mouth of these people, and they are just ordinary black folks with variation of brown skin. Okay. We're going to trace the hardcore racism to Spain and the Catholic Church. Why Spanish people are more racist than the rest of Europeans. Spanish people, the pale Spanish people, they are the one who bred these people to be this ignorantly racist towards their own selves. But the real Spanish people, the pale of the pale Spanish people, are the cause of all this. Why? We're going to link it to the Moors. Of all European nations, the only place that you can see the evidence of black civilization, the evidence up to today, is Spain and Portugal, the Siberia Peninsula, where the Moors ruled these people for 600 years, the history says. So they are more harder on black people. And when the so-called Crusader, the Christian barbarians, finally took over the peninsula, in history or in modern history of Europeans in Europe, no other country expelled a huge number of Africans from their country except these two nations from the peninsula. the Iberian Peninsula, which is now Portugal and Spain. When the Moors were there, it wasn't called Spain or Portugal. It's called the Iberian Peninsula. Just like the Hispaniola, now divided into Dominican Republic and Haiti, where Haiti is purely Africans and Dominican Republic rape products of something between my collar and the palm of my hand. So we're not going to talk about these people who are bad-mouthing because it's a trained thing. It was beaten into them to hate themselves, or any blood of African in them to hate them. We link it into the Moors of Spain. Because today, when you go into Spain, the evidence of black people has never been, could not be erased. Even the Hispanic culture, without Africans, they have no culture. What is Afro-Cuban? What is Latin music? There is nothing Latin. And I said it again. There is nothing Latin in the music that you play. There's nothing Roman, Italian, or anything to the kind of music you play, the dance that you dance, and without Africa, you ain't nothing Latin in your food. Spanish people don't cook the way Hispanic people cook in South America and Central America and the Caribbean, wherever you find yourself. That is not their cuisine. Without Africa, you have no culture. So we're going to take the Latin or the Spanish, and the Portugal out of your tongue, and guess what? You just look like any average black American. Because when we put Spanish into the mouth of most black Americans, they're going to be looking like Hispanics, Latino. So why this messed up? So we're going to, put you on a side and deal with where the problem is coming from, Spain. Spanish people are lazy. I mean, in Spain. The reason why I'm saying this is when the Papa Bull was passed, after taking over running out the Moors from the peninsula, a Papa Bull was passed by Pope, a God-forsaken Pope called Nicholas, giving the edict that all black people's land supposed to be taken over because of what black people were able to do in the peninsula for 600 years. So when they were defeated and thrown out, they have to go after them, seize their land, and kill them. That is the Catholic Church, the God-forsaken Catholic Church. Because any person that could do what the Pope did is not of God. So the Pope that Nicholas don't represent God. And whatever organization he is heading do not represent God because of what they did. And that culture of the Catholicism and that of the Pope is what we're seeing today. Is the residue of the racism among Spanish-speaking people. So we have to deal with the root, not the people. Because the people, when you take Spanish out of their mouth, most of the 90% of them will look Africans. Because Africans come in different shades of brown. And majority has no rape blood, a rapist blood in them. It comes naturally. So when Dominicans come over here and acting up, it's just a product of Catholicism and what Spain is afraid of. Spain has covered all over the world, looted every nation, but still poor today. Of all the European nations, Spain doesn't come up on top, but they were the one stealing, looting before even the Dutch woke up from their slumber, before the Germans, before the English woke up from their slumber and their filth. But today they have nothing to show for. Spain and Portugal. As a matter of fact, even Angola is lending money to Portugal. You see. So the fear of the black man is not these people who are the product of rape, but they are our own grandfathers who are still in Spain and Portugal today. If they are anything at all, they should be the richest nation in Europe. If anything at all. So the fear that their godfathers have in them, the nightmare that they dream of all the time, is what they push into these products they have called Hispanics. And I'm saying, if you are Afro-Latino, Latina, this is not for you. This is not for you. So for my black Americans, you got to know the history, where these people are coming from. The Spanish people are the most racist, and the reason why they are so racist is because of the evidence that is still all over Spain and Portugal of the Moors rulership and what they turn them into be civilized people. People who never bathed. The Moors taught them how to bathe, introduced soap to them. So it's about some enviness, some jealousy, and a great-seated fear. A fear. For 600 years, that fear will linger on. So that's what it is. The people, we don't have to deal with it. They are ignorant. But the culture that trained them, the Catholicism, in the countries that they come from. And for black people, you have Africa. You have a great wealth. That is yours. And these people who don't want to be black, what do they have? If Dominicans don't want to be black, what do they have? Between their godforsaken island and America, what do they have? They can't even go to Spain. They don't even know where Spain is at, or Portugal. For you black people, Jamaicans, Haitians, don't let these people come over here and think they are something over you. You have a whole of Africa, the wealth, the huge wealth of Africa behind you. And then if you're Jamaican, you have Jamaica, Africa, and America. If you're black American, you have this place in Africa. If you're Haitian, you have Haiti, Africa, and here. The Dominicans, where would they go if they don't want to be black? So let's deal with where the racism is coming from. Spanish people are the worst of all racist Europeans. Spanish people, because of the Moors. But